Welcome, Dark. Each week I'll present a classic game and a challenge to be met while playing it. This week is the first game of my month of giveaways, and it's Star Wars. It was released in 1983 by Atari. In Star Wars, you get to play as Red 5 of the Rebels. Yes, that's right. You are Luke Skywalker, the whiny bitch and hero of the movies. The Killer List of Video Games claims that this is the fourth most popular game of all time. It features digitized voices of both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Han Solo, some R2-D2 beeps, Chewbacca, and even Luke. Star Wars is a vector graphics rail shooter. Vector graphics mean that lines are drawn instead of dots or pixels. This makes for a much more dynamic display. You fly an X-Wing in the Battle of Yavin in an effort to destroy the Death Star. The first enemies you face will always be the TIE Fighters. They will shoot fireballs at you that amazingly look close to snowflakes. You can destroy the TIE Fighters, and if you see Vader's TIE Fighter, you can earn extra points by destroying it. Be sure to shoot the fireballs though, because if they hit you, they'll start knocking your shields down. And if you get hit without any shields, the game's over. The next phase of the fight is determined by the difficulty selection you made at the beginning of the game. If you selected the easy mode, you'll go right into the trench of the Death Star, where you won't face any cross beams. There'll be a couple of gun turrets shooting at you. It's pretty easy to get down to the end. But be sure when you reach the exhaust port, to fire with your secondary button in order to launch your proton torpedo. But if you selected hard mode, when you defeat the TIE Fighters, you'll go down onto the surface of the Death Star searching for the trench. And you'll have to deal with gun turrets on the top of towers that each fire 3 fireballs. You can destroy the tops of the towers so they can't shoot at you, and you get a bonus if you destroy them all. But while you're doing that, you have to avoid running into the towers. Eventually, that will get you into the trench as well, where you will face crossbeams, and you'll have to move your fighter in between them so you don't crash into them. And you will also have more fireballs fired at you. I strongly suggest you use some sort of analog control for this game. The original controls were a yoke, which is like a steering wheel, that if you bent the handles forward, you would dive, and if you pulled them back, you would rise. If you turned left or right, you would turn left or right. Which is why I suggest a joystick for today's type of games. You have the same type of analog controls as the yoke. If you push forward, you dive. If you pull back, you go up. If you go left or right, you go left or right. You can also use an analog stick on a controller, but I think a joystick's a little better. You can control the game with a mouse, but the controls are not nearly as easy to maneuver. This week's challenge is to destroy the Death Star on hard mode. If you defeat the challenge, press print screen while the Death Star is blowing up, and then paste the file into Paint and send it to me. I don't know what the Mac equivalent is, and I really don't care. If you defeat the challenge first, you will win the prize. Be sure to post it on the forums, otherwise you haven't really done it. But also, get screenshots of your high scores and submit them as well. If no one defeats the challenge by 8 AM on June 17th, then I will award the prize to the highest score posted on the thread. Good luck, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always. If you have any suggestions for future classic gaming challenges, please leave them on the Rarcast forums. And that is also where you can find a link to this game that you're hearing about now, and any other games we've featured in the past. Those games include Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja, Frogger, Street Fighter II, Missile Command, Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, whole bunches of games from the 80s and early 90s. Also, you can reach me anytime via email, randark@rarcast.com, or Twitter, randark_CGC.
I lost our